Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I haven't made a video in a while, but today I'm happy to be here with Richard Simcott. How are you doing today, Richard?
Very well, how are you?
I'm doing great. When Richard told me he's coming to London, I was like, absolutely have to meet you, and he suggested that we make a video, so I was really up for that. So, for those of you that don't know who Richard is, Richard is a polyglot who speaks many different languages. If you're interested in finding out a bit more about him, then you can just click on the link below and go through to his blog. But the question that I want to ask Richard today is something that's bothered me for a while, and it's come up as I have been recording the different episodes of the Polyglot Project podcast, and that question is, can anybody be a polyglot? There are loads of people in the language community that would like to be polyglots, and I'm not too sure if that's going to be possible. So I wanted to see what Richard Simcott has to say about that, being a hyper-polyglot. So what would you say about that yourself?
Wow, all the easy questions then. It's definitely a question that's been put to me a lot more since I went to America for the TV program, and it was put to me in the context of linguists who have been researching whether or not it's possible for anyone to do it. There are certainly people out there that believe it is. There are other people, voices specifically in the language learning community, that say, actually, possibly not. Where do I sit on this? The honest answer is I don't really know 100%. What I can say is from my experience, and my experience has been this. I've known people who have taken one language and grown it upwards from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, and they've managed to do that without any great problems. I have met other people who have found it difficult to learn similar languages. So, people at university, for example, who I knew who did Spanish and Portuguese and Italian and French. Sometimes they'd have maybe a difficulty combining Portuguese and Spanish, for example. It would just end up turning into this sort of splurge of one language. Many people say to me, no, well, you've learnt the Romance languages, you've learnt the Germanic languages, you've learnt the Slavic languages, but that's quite easy. Well, yes and no. It makes it easier to start learning a new language if you've got a great background in other ones related to it. But is it easy always to speak them both as distinct languages? Not necessarily. And so to that degree, possibly it makes it harder to become a polyglot if you're really not driven and you've not got a lot of experience in separating them and a lot of opportunity to separate them. Whether someone could just say out of pure curiosity, okay, I want to become a polyglot and then set mind to do it, if you're extremely dedicated, I believe that the human mind is a really powerful thing.
Absolutely.
So I would never say never to anyone. I do think it is sometimes more difficult for some people to separate languages out, all things being equal. Maybe if they went to the country, say they lived in a place like, I don't know, in Galicia, and they went to Spanish-speaking areas in Galicia one day, and they worked part of the time in Portugal, maybe even if they had problems in the beginning with separating them, they may get to a point where, with practice, they can really separate those languages out. Yeah. So I would never say never, but I'm not sure it's forgetting into sort of that level of fluency that people tend to expect, where you're able to really manipulate the language almost to a native level in so many different languages, where that's always an easily achievable goal. I think you need a lot of motivation if you didn't naturally go towards it.
Yeah, absolutely. I particularly wanted to ask this question because not only are there a lot of people in the language community that want to become polyglots, but also for myself, I picked up languages, or I started learning languages seriously, I would say maybe 2.5 years ago, which is nothing compared to somebody like you who's been studying languages all your life. And I've made significant progress with Spanish, and made a little bit of progress with Japanese, and made some progress with Italian. And it's become apparent to me that it's not as easy as it may look. And something that I've always believed in is that people that are at the top of their game, and I would say Richard is one of those people, they make what they do seem easy, but there is a lot of hard work that goes into this, and can you just decide that I am going to become a polyglot, I'm going to learn 5 languages or 10 languages? Is that possible? That's the question that we're exploring here today, and Richard doesn't know the answer to that, and I'm wondering what you guys think about that. You know, can anyone learn 10, 15, 20 languages?
Yeah, it'd certainly be interesting to see what your community feels about that. I think that even on the Speaking Fluently page, people often ask similar questions, and people write to me from the YouTube videos too and say, can I learn? I'm an aspiring polyglot. And I think that's a really nice thing to want to learn lots of languages. It does require an awful lot of dedication. I mean, it's basically my life.
Yeah.
My life is, I study languages, I use languages all the time.
Yeah.
And to say, for example, it's a side hobby would be a gross underestimation of the amount of hours I've put into doing it. So, yeah, to just sort of do it on a whim, I think it would be a very big one. But I mean, why not? You know, everyone can give it a go, and I think everyone can learn a language, and that's a key thing. And whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, everyone can do it.
Yeah.
And whenever I hear anyone say, "But I can't learn a language," or "I'm bad at languages," I always say to them, "Well, you're speaking at least one of them pretty well." So, and they sort of laugh, and yeah, but there's a seed of truth in that, you know. When I say that to people, I do mean it. You've learned a language. So
you can learn another one.
Yeah.
You know, you've gone through the process once, so why shouldn't you be able to go through it again?
Exactly.
Yeah. And the next thing that I guess that I would wanna address is the fact that anybody that I have spoken to that is a polyglot, you know, you, Luca, and then some of the other ladies and gentlemen, it seems to me like none of you have planned to become polyglots. No. So that's what struck me, and it actually changed the way that I go about doing my studies, because you know I used to have this dream of learning this language and that language and this language, and the list goes on. You know, but as I've spoken to you guys more now, and it just become apparent that being a polyglot is not something that you choose to be. It almost just happens with time. You grow into it. And would you have anything to add to that?
I'd say that
let's just wait for that to go first. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, I'd say that definitely that it was a byproduct. Being called a polyglot or a hyperpolyglot, I don't really mind which terms you used. I think it's a descriptive term just to say that somebody speaks a lot of languages. Yeah. And I don't really have any strong feelings towards the labels, but it was certainly a byproduct of my studies and not the goal of my studies.
Yeah.
I had wish lists though. So in a way I suppose it's a bit of a contradiction really, isn't it? But I had these wish lists. I think everyone that learns languages has this wish list of, I want to learn this language, and it goes on for like 50 languages.
Yeah.
And anyone who's really into them will have that kind of list. Will have had at one point. So in a way you want to be a polyglot, but not because it's a polyglot, it's because you love these languages and you want to know them.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that, definitely, that I have these lists of languages I wanted to learn, but I didn't really consciously think, okay, I want to be a polyglot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
someone once said to me, "Oh, so you're a polyglot?" And that happened one day. I was in a university, and I was like, I suppose so.
Well, what just happened? You became a polyglot like that?
Yes, it's kind of happened overnight. You know, I became a polyglot overnight.
Okay, and the last thing that I guess I want to address in this video, or I want to point out or show to you guys, is the work involved in being or becoming a polyglot. So we spoke about this earlier, and how many hours a day do you study languages?
Oh my god, that's a question.
Yeah, because I know that there are people out there, and this happened to me as well, where I've struggled to find time to maybe just study for 1 hour a day because I've got other commitments, you know. And what about you? Do you ever feel like, oh no, I've got to study languages now? Oh no, never ever feel like that. I'm always fighting for more time. I wish I had an extra 24 hours of my day to study languages. It's all I do. If I've got free time, it's what I like to do. I just feel this, when people go to the gym and they feel really pumped and they want to go again and they feel really good about it, that's how I feel after a good language session. Yeah. How many hours do I study though?
difficult to quantify. It depends on the day. It depends on my commitments. I've got obviously.
Okay, just to make it clear, when I say how many hours do you study languages a day, I'm not taking into account just practice, just speaking with friends. I'm talking about conscious study where you are trying to acquire the language, whether it be through reading, not just passively using the language. I'm talking about just study.
Okay, so it's going to be between about 3 to 5 hours a day.
Wow, 3 to 5 hours a day. That's what it's going to take to become a polyglot. 3 to 5 hours a day of systematic study.
I guess that's probably about right. Of actually reading material and trying to learn new things and making a real conscious effort to do that.
Yeah.
And then I practice a lot of languages during the day for work. At home I don't speak English, only with my daughter, and then we have other languages that we use as well.
Yeah.
So on the street and at home and for work I use X number of languages anyway.
Yeah.
But that's not, as we say, in this sort of active study.
Yeah. And I guess I always have one last thing. And so, with you studying for 3 to 5 hours a day, what sort of progress are you making in let's say a month, 2 months? What are you expecting to achieve?
Okay, I don't set myself unrealistic goals.
Okay. And what's an unrealistic goal? What's unrealistic?
I'm going to take a month and speak fluent Swahili. Okay. I mean,
Definitely unrealistic.
Okay, that would be a fairly unrealistic goal.
Yeah.
Because I know my work commitments. I know what I'm able to do with the time I've got, and I know the other things I have to do. So it's not realistic.
Yeah.
What I do is I say to myself, okay, I'm going to start learning this language and see where it takes me.
Yeah.
And then say, I want to be able to talk about this, or I want to be able to talk about that. And I set myself little sort of baby step goals. But okay, let's see how I get on with this, and go through, and just sort of make it manageable, really, and so that I can feel a yay at the end of the week, and not a.
So there's no rush to.
Yeah, there's no rush.
There's no rush.
You know what we're rushing for? We always rush everywhere.
Yeah. Especially in London.
Yeah, I mean, take my Turkish for example. Now, I study Turkish. I've been doing it since September last year, so I've done 8 months of Turkish, roughly, and I've done the A1 exam and I've done the A2 exam, and I'm now halfway through the B1 material.
Yeah.
And I'll do the B1 exam when we resume our studies. September I'll do the exam in December probably, at B1. It's taken me 8 months. Is that a long time in the long term, in the grand scheme of things, is that a long time to learn language? I don't think so.
No, not at all.
I think within a year to get to a degree where you're using the language and speaking with people and making a meaningful use of the knowledge that you've acquired.
Yeah.
I think it's a valid and good use of your time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say don't rush. Don't expect to speak it in a week. It is a labour of love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And worth it in the end.
Absolutely. So I guess that would conclude the video for today. Becoming a polyglot or being a polyglot is a byproduct of lots and lots of hard work. So I guess the last question that I would put out there to you guys is, do you think that anybody can become a polyglot? Because it seems that what is required is lots of hard work, but is anybody or anyone willing to put in what it takes to actually achieve these great achievements?
Thank you very much for your time. I'd be interested to hear what people say.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.